The biting wind of the Dog Mountains howled like a lost soul, licking the stone walls of the cabin where Clint tried to relax, sipping bitter coffee. Old memories shimmered in his silver cup. It was there, in the frozen solitude, that he had buried both guns and ghosts until the sound of hooves broke the silence. A skeletal rider, wrapped in a rain-soaked cloak, knocked at the door. His eyes were two terrified coals beneath a crumpled hat. Sheriff Tobias Vance from Redstone Gulch introduced himself with a hoarse voice. "I need the man who killed Silas Cran." Clint looked at the sheriff, who handed him a blood-stained letter. "The Ghost Train gang is bleeding Redstone," he said. "They've robbed the bank 3 times, killed women, burned farms. And the leader, he uses your name, Clint. He says he is you." The stranger raised his eyes for the first time in months. The ice in his gaze cracked. "What's his name?" "Cormac Thorn, former cavalry officer, methodical, insane, and with an army of mounted demons." The sheriff pointed to a map. "They strike when the supply train arrives. The next one comes tomorrow at noon." Clint grabbed the holster hanging on the wall. The leather creaked like an old sigh. "Then we have no time to lose." Redstone Gulch was an open wound on the plane houses, with shattered windows, suspicious eyes. As Clint inspected the train tracks, Tobias Vance explained, "Thorn doesn't steal for money. He steals out of hate. He wants to see the whole territory burn, and he started with my town." Suddenly, a sharp whistle tore through the sky. The supply train appeared on the horizon, steaming like a dragon. It was time. Clint took position behind a barricade of sandbags, Winchester in hand. Vance stood to his left, finger trembling on the trigger. Then they cam-riding like a dust storm. Masked men emerged from the canyons. At their head was Cormac Thorn upright military stance, blood-red coat over black leather, dual revolvers with ivory handles gleaming at his waist under a weathered officer's hat. Clint roared, "Thorn, stop at 50 yards. Show your face, or are you a coward?" Clint stood slowly. "Who told you my name, soldier?" "Doesn't matter," said Cormac. "I heard you took out Silas Cran." "So what?" Clint replied. "Silas was my brother," said Cormac. "Subscribe, hit the bell, and share." The first shot rang out from a rooftop sniper. Vance fell with a groan, wounded. Clint fired back with precision. The shooter dropped like a sack of bones. Gunfire erupted. Clint moved through bullets like a shadow, every shot a deadly thunderclap. Bandits fell, but Thorn he just dodged and smiled. "Not today, Drifter," he shouted, retreating. "But I swear by my brother's blood, Redstone will be your grave." The gang fled, leaving dust and death behind. Clint rushed to Vance, pressing on the wound. "Thorn lied," whispered the sheriff with pale lips. "Silas never had a brother." Clint interrogated a dying outlaw. The man spat the truth. "Thorn's after the lost cavalry vault. They say it's hidden in the lead car of the next federal train arriving in 5 days. He only uses your name to draw you out because he fears you." Back at the sheriff's office, Clint examined a map with the train's route and timetable. The next day brought a silent war. Thorn attacked like a wolf. He burned the sheriff's barn, poisoned the town well, left settlers' bodies on the road with Clint's name carved into their skin. The townsfolk began to doubt the Drifter. "He brought the plague," they whispered. On the 4th day, the sky turned to lead. The federal train advanced like a steel serpent through the narrow canyon tracks. On the roof of the mail car, Clint waited, ready. He knew Thorn would come, and he did. From atop the cliffs, the gang descended with hooks and ropes like spiders onto the moving train. Thorn led them, his red coat a bloodstain against the gray sky. The battle was a deadly dance. Clint fired as bullets ricocheted off metal. Outlaws fell onto the tracks, crushed by wheels. Inside the armored lead car, the final duel began. Thorn burst in with twin Colts, eyes bloodshot. "It's over, Drifter. The vault is mine, and your head will hang on my saddle. Only if you shoot before I cut out your heart, Clint replied. Gunshots echoed like thunder on steel. Thorn was fast, brutal, but Clint was precise. A bullet hit Thorn's shoulder. Another grazed Clint's leg. When the fuel tank was hit, hot steam flooded the car. In the blinding mist, they clashed. No more guns, only fists, teeth, and hate. Thorn fell onto a brake lever. Clint held onto a rail as the train sped forward. Thorn laughed like a madman, trying to drag him to death. Die with me, legend. Suddenly, a shot. Sheriff V appeared through the smoke, rifle still smoking in his hands. Thorn staggered, stunned. The sheriff had survived. Clint stepped forward, cold eyes locked. Silas never had a brother. Who are you? Thorn lifted a medallion. Insidian old photo of Silas and Cormac, young in cavalry uniforms. He left me at Fort Misery when the Comanches attacked. I escaped through a trench. You gave him the death I wanted to. With a final breath, Cormac Thorn collapsed. The conductor was alerted, and the train was stopped. Back on solid ground, Sheriff V shook Clint's hand. The town owes you everything. No, Clint replied, looking to the horizon. He mounted his horse and rode off as the setting sun painted the sky blood red. A heavenly desert and new ghosts. Thanks for riding with us. Don't forget to like and hit the bell. Until the next adventure.